So I would say that right now is still an effective time to sell overall, and I would give buyers the same caution I've been giving them for months. How's it going? I'm Christopher McGee. I'm the owner of Halcyon Real Estate. We are affiliated with the Keller Williams Market Center in Salt Lake City, Utah. Today is the 8th of September, 2025, and this is the numbers, the nuance. This is the playlist. This is the set of videos that you want to watch every Monday. I have this video every Monday made so that you can know exactly what Utah's housing market is looking like right now. This is a weekly Utah housing market update. The numbers come right off the MLS. I'm just giving you the data as it appears there, plotting it into charts so that you can see how that data moves across several variables over time. I believe you can make the best choices when you have the best data. Hence these videos. Let's go ahead and check it out. Okay, things are still going essentially as they have been, with a few curveballs at the moment, summarized by two things. One, dropping interest rates, and two, moderately but steadily increasing home prices right now. Increasing inventory, higher than usual interest rates, and higher than we've seen the last few years days on market, the amount of time it takes for any given home on the market to be sold. Those three things have driven this low-key but ubiquitous idea this year for sure, that Utah's housing market is on the verge of a massive, or at least a viable, correction in our home prices. The actualized demand for homes, however, in Utah, the number of homes we see sell week over week over week, that has stayed consistent and high enough. It's not a big number compared to what it was 5 years ago, but it's a significant, steady, high enough number that level of actualized demand hasn't allowed home prices to really drop in any significant way. The days on market, average days on market, hasn't reached a point that makes it painful enough for sellers to drop their home prices, their asking prices, in a big way. So as we head into Q4 of 2025 with lowering interest rates and increasing home prices, it will be very interesting to see what happens in the winter, because winter is typically a time that we see activity start to drop off in general. Everything kind of drops off. Days on market takes longer, the number of homes being put on the market starts to drop, the number of buyers buying homes every week starts to drop. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, because normally the pickup we're seeing in prices right now happens in the spring. It didn't happen in the spring this year. The first quarter of this year watched home prices moderately drop, very moderately drop. The second quarter of this year watched home prices just stagnate. And this third quarter has been watching home prices creep a little bit up. It's steady, but it's happening. And this week's report on average home prices is the highest we've seen. So I would say that right now is still an effective time to sell overall. And I would give buyers the same caution I've been giving them for months. I know that your family and friends and you yourself looking online, you're seeing homes that have been on the market for 100+ days. And I know that you're seeing homes that keep dropping their asking prices. I know you're seeing it because it's out there on the market, and I get told by buyers all the time, people that talk to me about the market, it's looking crazy out there. But that is not an accurate representation of what our market looks like at large. So if you go into the market, buyers, thinking that you're gonna make sharky offers and get what you want, you're gonna be disappointed. You're gonna lose on a lot of opportunities before you figure out what the market's really doing. And I don't want you to learn the hard way, so please pay attention to this data. Let's check out the numbers. All right, here's where things are in the Utah housing market as of the 8th of September, 2025. Our current inventory stands at 13,573. That is up from last week, indeed from the last several weeks, still an overall upward trend, looking to be leveling out. The prior week's average days on market came to 63 days on average for homes to get under contract. That's down by just one from the previous week, still trending up here. The prior week's average list price came to $817,005. That's up a huge jump from last week, and I frankly hope it cools off and comes back down from here. This data set trending moderately up, like I said. Last week's average sold price came to $801,024, and that's also up from the previous week, keeping the difference between average list price and average sold price within a certain expected range right now, though still in the buyer's favor, to the tune of $15,981. That's the difference this last week between average list price versus the average sold price. Last week, median sold price came to $530,000, up a touch from the week prior to that. This number is creeping up a little bit this second quarter as well. Still good to know though that $530K 700K is what more people are experiencing as opposed to 820K, which is where our average is right now. Last week, the number of homes that sold came to 493. That's a big drop from last week's high point on this data set. This number keeps zigzagging up and down, but overall it's trending, as you can see, very moderately up. Right now, currently under contract, there are 5,056 homes. That is down from the previous week. We've got a slight downtrend here. Last week, the number of homes with price reductions were 1,424. That is up from the previous week, trending up as we see it from the beginning of Q2, but looking to have leveled off here in the last 6 to 8 weeks. Last week, the number of listing contracts that were either canceled, expired, or withdrawn came to 456. That is down from the previous week as we expect, still trending up. And finally, currently, our interest rates for a 30-year fixed rate conventional loan come to about 6.28%. That's a new low for this year. This continues to trend down. Last week was a big week for interest rates because two things happened. One, we got the monthly report on national core inflation data, and more importantly for interest rates, we got the monthly jobs report. And with weak statistics on what our jobs market looks like in the United States right now, it brought interest rates down as well. But that's it for this week, guys. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions about the numbers, how I present them, or anything else, please feel free to hit me in the comments. I'm always happy to respond. If you or anybody you know is looking to move here in Utah in the coming months, anytime toward the end of this year, I hope you're comfortable reaching out to me. I'm going to be happy to work with you or whoever it is that you know that you're suggesting works with me. You know you're pairing up with somebody who knows the market like the back of their hand and somebody who's going to be buttoned up and professional about the process for you. And of course, as always, if this is the kind of info you are interested in staying on top of, you will not find a better way than to hit that subscribe and stay up on these numbers with me from week to week. Thanks for watching this week, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.